Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm Jacob Connors, author of the Saga series, and today you'll find out I actually do have male characters in my story, and I also draw them sometimes. Not very much. They're kind of hard to do because I've been drawing female characters for years and kind of neglected the guys. The ladies always brought the views in, so that's why I don't do guys very often. But there should be a good mix there probably in the future. We'll figure it out here. But so today we're going to talk about my character Sixes. I will make an admission here. There is another version of Sixes, the prototype Sixes. He is conceived when the original premise of the story was to make the edgiest powers possible. So the whole premise of the story, one of the premise of the power systems of the story was a lot of people have like those, emo gothic, cry as you bleed, Nirvana abilities. Like he literally has a ability that has like barbed wire coming out of his arm, stuff like that. Anyway, so the first version of Sixes, the first prototype I made of him, I feel is so cringy, I don't want to show it. You can find if you want to find it, you can find it, but yeah, it's somewhere on my DeviantArt page. But I'm going to save myself the bullet here and we're going to jump straight to Sixes version 2, which was a lot closer to what I wanted to be like anyways. So let's get the handy dandy clicker up here. Okay, I'm hitting the wrong thing here. So this is version 2 Sixes, kind of the more refined version of him. So one of the things here, the problem is with the way my drawing abilities are a little lacking here. I gotta admit that, because in the first part of the story, Sixes is very emaciated and now malnourished. Like he's supposed to be like literally skin and bones, just not, So he's almost supposed to be like he almost looks like a ghoul sometimes, or and I just don't have the ability to draw that, unfortunately. It's a little bit beyond me, so you'll have to forgive me. This is Sixes when he's actually eaten some stuff and he's recovered some of his body mass. So at the top here, he kind of has this wild mane. This version doesn't have any color. We'll get into that in the next one. But he has his wild mane, and at the time when I made this, I wasn't very good at making horns, but he has these two kind of, I'm going to call them they have a special name. They have a special name, but he has these two bull horns that grow to the side of the head. Most often in the story, he's breaking them off just to kind of appear human. But beyond that, these aren't very good how I drew them. They kind of suck, to be honest. His clothing design kind of changes. Like initially I wanted to have like a cowboy duster or a trench coat, and as I've kind of gone through the story a little bit here, that has kind of morphed a little bit to kind of more like a knight's surcoat, I guess, in the end. But we'll get to that when you can see it here. So this original piece was kind of a tank top shirt. It's not very synergetic with the story, unfortunately. We got some. One of the big things here, going down to his hands here. In the story, he has this ability where he can make his hands these big kind of demon monster paws. These aren't really what I imagined. They were just kind of a reference I found just to kind of show what was going on. But they're really supposed to be I think what I had in mind was like Keo from Fruits Basket when he turns into his monster rabbit form thing. He has like those giant meaty paws, and that's more what I had in mind. But I just lacked the ability to kind of portray that on the character. The big thing too is the big other thing he usually has is he has these shackles around his wrists, and that's actually his weapon, because in the story he wields what I call chain breakers. It's basically just a giant chain. It's basically just a flail that kind of comes out of his shackles and extends. There's some magic stuff behind that, but there's that, and then there's kind of the waistcloth here. I ended up really liking this. Throughout the story, I just really liked having my characters have waistcloths or kind of dramatic flare down by their legs. Maybe just to hide the legs because I wasn't very good at them at the time too. But beyond that, this was a good basis for what became the better version of Sixes. So we're just going to move on to that. This is version 2.6. This is version 3.6. Sorry, I just kept his background here before. The big thing here is in the story, I always described him having this kind of flaming streak in his hair. There is a story reason behind that, but I also thought it just looked cool. His mane gets a little more wild and beastly, and his beard gets a little more defined. Before you saw in the last picture, he had a little bit of stubble. In a lot of animes and light novels, a lot of the side characters have beard, but there's very few main characters that have beards. I think I started listening to my watching. I watched it first. My daughter left the nest and became an S rank adventurer, and I really liked that Belle. Belgrieve had just this big bushy red beard. He kind of had some influence here, but there's some other influence here from other characters. But this once again depicts Sixes in what I'd consider full health. His horns get a little better here. I found a good reference for horns, and these get further refined as we go along here. And his beard gets a little more. His beard gets a little more unique here, I guess you can say it. So much so that I kind of started to copy it myself, just to kind of try it. Sometimes, if I can, I'll like I grew out a goatee for a little while for one character, just so I could practice playing with it, just to see how that'd feel. Just to kind of help me write a little bit better sometimes. Method write, I guess I'll call it. But here, the big change here is he gets kind of more of his cloak. This is what I call in story a Callahan. It kind of looks like, it's supposed to kind of look like priest robes. So it kind of achieves that. But it's just this chainmail lined heavy coat. It's supposed to be very easy battle armor to put on. This part here is actually supposed to be beneath his skin. This is his brand. This is the same shape of brand that Hazel has. But that's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal in the story, but I just kind of show it here because it's supposed to be glowing through the clothing. The other thing here too, he often has an ability where he wraps someone's barbed wire made from his blood around his arm, so that's a little reference here. He uses Crimson Hellfire, which is kind of a unique flame to him. Here I added his chains and stuff, and overall the design didn't change much. His face got a little bit more refined. His neck's a little thicker. His hair got underwent a little bit of a change, but other than that, he really didn't change much overall. I guess I guess I put these scars on his arms that I don't ever describe in story. I just kind of put them there because I think they're cool. The scars on his temple, and there should be a little scar here on his cheek. That is in the story, so that has a story reason later. One thing about Sixes is, despite the missing prototype phase, he had a very short development period. I only drew him, like this is literally the third time I draw him when I did this back, I think it was it must have been a year ago. I had to start getting concept art down for the characters, but yeah, that's the end. This was my final. This ended up being the version of Sixes that the guys at Deku Studios used to make the official version, which we will go to now. In the official version, get the clicker out of the way. This is Sixes from Volume 2. You can kind of see the guys at Deku. They changed stuff up a little bit here. They gave him a tighter shirt. I'm not sure why. They just did it. I just rolled with it. It looks fine. His face gets a lot more unique. They did a really good job with that. They definitely did a better job than I could have. Hazel's off to the side here. I had to clip this from the Volume 2 cover. So Hazel here is a good comparison, and she would be, that would be about how tall she is to him. So that's a good size comparison. Although Sixes is kind of crouching in this picture, so Hazel would be a little shorter she would probably be about right here on him. So, but one of the big things I liked, uh, so they didn't really get the flame in his hair like I kind of described it. They kind of made it more blonde, but that kind of works too. It's fine. I like how it goes behind his back here, so it gets a little more tamer. It gets a little tamer. But other than that, there's not much to say on the official version. Other than I like it, and it will be his design going forward, unless I make some major changes in the book in his book description. But that's Sixes. A little bit of his background is let's see, stuff I can reveal from Volume 1. Volume 1, him and his friends came over the border of a country called Marduk, which is considered which is considered a country that worships the evil goddess Minerva. They're coming back over the mountains, and they get attacked by Jeanette DeBelle, and he gets tossed in the river, and he ends up with Hanford. He ends up meeting Hazel, and kind of gives her a scare where she runs into the woods and hurts herself, and he uses his cursed abilities to kind of heal her so she doesn't die of blood loss. One of the main things about Sixes here is he's kind of portrayed as a villainous figure in the story. Like, he's not, I don't think he's named. Yeah, I don't think he's actually named until chapter 6. I think so. Chapter 6 of the first volume. Before then, he's always just referred to as the demon. So he kind of plays a minor villain role in the Hanford arc of the first volume. And then after he gets named, you kind of get to find out a little bit more about his character and what his intentions are. But beyond that, you'll find out a lot of his history in Volume 1, and you'll kind of and throughout the volumes here. So, and Volume 2, find out more about him. But I'm trying to say stuff without spoiling it too much. But yeah, in the beginning, but just to kind of summarize his character a little bit. In the beginning, he gets attacked and wounded, and he ends up having to steal some supplies from Hazel's hometown to kind of get by and make his journey. He does make an effort to try and repay the stuff he stole, but he is interpreted as a demon that's trying to attack the village or the town. So he has some conflict there, and then him and Hazel have to. So during the battle, and he transforms into an actual giant demon. He ends up saving Hazel from Thorn's attack, and they have to fly off, and he kind of keeps Hazel in his care, and he's planning to kind of ditch her as soon as he gets into the next town. But things don't always go the way you plan. But I'm kind of rambling around here. I guess I didn't have quite a clear picture of what I wanted to do here, but yeah, that's Sixes. I wish I could explain in better detail, but I wish I could articulate it better, I guess I should say. But he had a short development history. He really, his first design, there's almost nothing left over from his prototype design that I didn't show. Like I said, it was just too cringe for me to show. I just wasn't really satisfied with it. That's why version 2 came along pretty quickly. Version 2 became a very good foundation, and then version 3 definitely refined how I wanted Sixes to look. And then the guys at Deca Studio here, they definitely gave him that big imposing body like he's kind of described as, or how I drew him, because Sixes in the story fluctuates between being this hulking mass of a guy, and then there's times where he kind of gets shrunk down to kind of more skin and bones, and that's because of his curse abilities. He's basically somebody who, like Hazel, he is cursed himself, and he has a lot of abilities now that part of his character design or power design here is he's essentially, if you ever played a video game like WoW, I played Rules of Magic, but if you played like WoW or any game that had like a second character class, this would be Sixes in his second character class that he was playing, that was being played on double XP mode, but you only get the same amount of talent points. Maybe that's not makes it this. You only got the same amount of skill points. So he's like a really high level, but his skills, like the actual skills that do stuff. So if you're like a level 99 in a game, but you powered up during the double XP bonus, where but they didn't give out double T talent point or skill points. So you're level 99, but you would only have the abilities of a level 50. Six is in his current state right now because this is actually his transformed curse state. That's kind of what he's in. So he's so if I there's not levels in the story, but he in the story, to be a little meta with it, he'd be like a level 99 player that has to play it like that has to have to try and work out things with level 50 abilities, and he has those abilities that he doesn't really understand or know anything about because of how he was cursed and how it changed how he was before. But so I'm not sure. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, so I'm going to wrap up. But if you want to check out Sixes and weren't entirely put off by my terrible rambling here, you can check out Sixes and Hazel in my book, Saint Saga the Black Beast. Ah, shit, that's the shitty version of the ad. But, well, anyways. Nope, that's not it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is the new book. This is what the book cover looks like now. If you want to check out Saint Saga the Black Beast, it's available for purchase on Amazon. I believe the price is back down to $2.99 on the ebook. And I think the paperback, I think I just changed it to $11.99. I think so. But the change might not have happened yet. I don't know. Amazon's a little slow sometimes when you make publishing updates like that. But if you want to check out Hazel and Sixes in their adventure, check out Saint Saga the Black Beast on Amazon. Give it a look. I would appreciate reviews if you do read it. I can't say anything more than that because of Amazon's rules. But you know, I want people to enjoy it. But I don't mind if people tell me they don't enjoy it. It's not gonna make or break me if you. I guess I would be pretty keen if you did leave it positive. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. I can't force you to like it. But I hope you do. I think you will. So far, a lot of people said it's well written. So far, most people said it's well written. I got to take that with some grain of salt from some of them, but for the most part, people seem to like it. It's just I have a little trouble selling it is all. But I hope you check it out, and I think next time I will be doing a review because I'm running a little bit out of characters, and I want to save some of the characters from Volume 2 to actually talk about when Volume 2 shows up, and I'll be doing some other videos here and there. But if you gave this a look, I thank you. I guess subscribe, I guess. I don't really have any great YouTube ambitions, but I appreciate it either way, I guess. But yeah, so next time I'll probably do a review and see how I do son of a bitch. See how I do at that. But yeah, good night. Hope you have a good day, whatever. Bye.